What's up, family? Everybody come on in, man. Come on in, file in, file in. There's no single line. No, we are not in school. It's just Cousin Five back with another video. Nothing too crazy, family. Welcome back to my channel, y'all. And if you're new here, I am Cousin Five, your go-to book cousin for all things books, reviews, vlogs, whatever you want. You want to talk about books, come see Cousin and we gonna have a good time. All right, y'all. So as y'all can see from the title, I took the liberty of going to another bookstore. And I'm excited because this bookstore is a little special in my eyes. And the reason I say that is because the bookstore that I'm going to today is called Haydens Books. And I looked this bookstore up, and I've never been here. And I looked this bookstore up, and what I found out is that this bookstore has been woman-owned and woman-operated for the past 3 decades. I don't know if y'all find that cool, but I find that sweet as hell. Woman-owned, woman-operated for over 30 years? That's insane. So, I'm going to do what I do and bring my family along. Because I don't know if they know out there. But over here, y'all go where I go. I was saying I gotta bring the family everywhere I go. It's a family affair every single time. So that's what we doing today. We going to Haydens Books. We're gonna see if we can pick up some books and see what they got going on. It's a nice little niche local store. It says it's new and used books. So we're gonna see what they got going on. I'm gonna see what they got to pick. I seen some of y'all recommendations, so I'm gonna see if I can find a couple of them. I'm not gonna talk y'all head off too much. Let's go ahead and head out so we can go to the bookstore. See ya. But y'all know before we hit the bookstore, gotta do a fit check. You feel me? And I made these pants, by the way. I'm creative. All right, y'all. So this is me on the way to the bookstore. Turned up to that Brent Faiyaz, man. You know, this is one of my favorite artists, so had to turn them on, get the vibes right on my way to the bookstore. You feel me? Now, this is me arriving at the bookstore. I was a little thrown off, but, you know, we see it, zoom in on it right there. Then we get inside Haydens Books. Some nice bookshelves, a lot of books. Then I look right here and I see a deal. Let me zoom in on that. Boom. I didn't even end up really getting any hardcovers, but that's okay. And this is me checking out Never Lie by Frida McFadden. Talk about that book a little later. But I'm just sitting here reading the synopsis and I thought it was pretty good. So this is one of the books that I got. Some more bookshelves towards the entrance. So I had a lot of books. I was a little overwhelmed with the amount of books that they really had. Then they got some of the authors and their books for their own sections. So I thought that was pretty cool. And everything was handwritten. So I thought that was a nice touch to this bookstore. And you got the teen section right here. Just browsing, just looking around. And this is me looking at the Nicholas Sparks book, The Best of Me. So I ended up picking up that book as well. And, you know, just had him a little shimmy because I'm always excited to get some books. Then they had this back section where it had a bunch more books. And I thought this was pretty cool because if you didn't really walk around, you would never notice it. So it was pretty sweet back here. Just looking around, not doing too much. And then you got another section to the right of that with a lot more books. So you kind of walking back, just trying to see what they got. And there was a guy right here to my right, and he kind of scared the mess out of me, so I just kept going. But yeah, this was pretty sweet. And this is me just leaving the bookstore with the books that I bought. Let's get it. Very interesting experience, family. Had to take y'all in there to this used bookstore, man. I actually like the vibes. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the type of books I was expecting, but I like the vibes, and I like to think that today I built a little character. Seeing all these used books that got a lot of wear and tear. So I think if I buy books that got wear and tear, that got character, I'm building character. I don't know if y'all feel the same, but I got my books. So let's go back to the crib and I'm gonna show y'all what I got. Peace. Okay, family. Now that we back at the crib, I need y'all to help me. Did I get bamboozled? Did I get hoodwinked? While I did like the store, it wasn't nothing what I was expecting to see. I went on the website and they said that it was Haydens Books, right? Just follow along with me for 2 seconds. They said it was Haydens Books. And then I go on the internet trying to do a little more research. And then I figure out it's also called Carolyn's Paperbacks Plus. And that shows the bookstore that I went into today, not Haydens Books. So I don't know. Nonetheless, I enjoyed my experience. It was interesting, but I enjoyed it. So let's get into these books that I got. And let me tell y'all, I expected to go in here and really spend a couple dollars. But when I went in there and I seen that it was used books, I knew I was finna get a bargain. And I'll tell you what I'm always here for, a bargain. So I went in here and I got 4 books. I think it's 4. Yeah, 4 books. And I got them for $17 pretty much. It's like $16 and some change. 4 books for under $20. I thought she was lying to me, if we're gonna be honest. I thought she was yanking my chain. I got them for under $20, so I'm excited. Let's get right into them. So the first book that I grabbed is Song of Solomon by Toni Morrison. And I know that I didn't necessarily enjoy The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison, but I do like what she writes about, and I do like the way that she writes. Even though it is a little challenging, it works my mind and it makes me think a lot deeper about the things that she's talking about. So when I seen her book, I just had to grab it. And the Song of Solomon is essentially about a young boy. His name is Milkman Dead, and he is born into the richest black family in this town. It's going over his life and his family's life, and his father and mother don't really get along. His mother is really coddling, she's like really nurturing to him, but it gets kind of weird to a certain point because he gets to a certain age and she just can't let go. His father, on the other hand, is a slumlord, like a crazy, tyrannical landlord, and nobody in the town likes him. So as Milkman is getting older and he's growing up, he's starting to realize like who his family is, the type of money that he was born into, and he's starting to struggle with his identity. And he learns certain things about his family and everything that's going on in the town, and he just can't relate. And he just doesn't know who he is. He doesn't know who he wants to be, and his family's not helping out, and he's just trying to figure his way out. So I'm interested to read this one. Some people recommended it, so we're gonna see what it's all about. And another one. I got another Toni Morrison book, and that is Beloved. A lot of people actually recommended this book, and when I seen it, I scared the librarian lady in there because I got so excited when I seen it, and I knew I had to grab it. I don't know much about this book, and when I looked it up, I kind of got the gist of it. It's about a woman who escaped slavery and she moved to Ohio to gain her freedom. She's living with her daughter and her other children, and the house that they moved into is haunted, pretty much. So it's haunted, and then a man comes and basically pushes the ghost out of the house. Everything seems like it's getting back to normal. A woman shows up on their porch one day. This woman shows up on their porch, discombobulated, don't know what's going on, don't know her name, where she's from. Super weird. They take her in and they start to care for her. But they care for her to the point that they're taking care of her like she's an infant. And Seth's daughter starts to realize or understand that this woman may be the ghost of her older sister, because Setha had an older daughter who died. And now they think that she's come in this woman's body and is trying to take over the house. All in all, I think this book seems super interesting, and I'm very curious to read it. Like I said, I've had trouble with one of her other books, but maybe this one is better. I actually like the plot behind this story, so I'm excited to read it. We gonna get into it. Alrighty, this next book we got is something I've been recommended by my brother, because he doesn't read much, but his favorite author is James Patterson. So I went ahead and got a James Patterson book, and that is Maximum Ride, Saving the World and Other Sports. Now, what I didn't realize when I picked up this book is that this is the third installation of the Maximum Ride series. Got to look up and find the first and second ones, and then I think it's more after that. And then I'll read this. But it's essentially about a group of kids who got superpowers, and for whatever reason, they are being looked for. And not just looked for, they're being hunted across the whole United States, apparently. So something a little different, but I'm excited to read it. It seems pretty cool, and I'm gonna get into it once I get the first one. On to the next. So the next book I got is The Best of Me by Nicholas Sparks. Yep. And I don't know why I picked this book up, but it called out to me for whatever reason. So the synopsis says, in the spring of 1984, high school students Amanda Collier and Dawson Cole fell deeply in love. Though they were from opposite sides of the tracks, their love for each other seemed to defy the realities of life in their small town in North Carolina. But as the summer of their senior year came to a close, unforeseen events would tear the young couple apart, setting them on radically divergent paths. Now, 25 years later, Amanda and Dawson are summoned back home for a funeral. Neither has lived the life they imagined, and neither can forget the passion and first love that forever changed their lives. Forced to confront painful memories, the former lovers soon realized that everything they thought they knew about themselves and the dreams they held dear was not as it seemed. And in the course of a single, searing weekend, they will ask of the living and the dead, can I truly rewrite the past? I don't know what it is about me, but I love me a second chance romance. Like, I don't know. I believe in second chances, man. For certain things. But this sounds interesting, though. For real. And what makes me a little nervous, though, is that somebody got a bookmark in here at chapter 19 and didn't finish it. And I don't know what reason that may be, but we gonna find out. Because they didn't finish it and then they sold it. So that, a little iffy, but it seemed like a pretty good book, though. I've never heard of Nicholas Sparks, so hopefully this is good, because I might look up some more books he got. Let's get it. We on to the last book of the day, and that is Never Lie by Frida McFadden. The plain cover of this book caught me, I'm not gonna lie. The red kind of popped out to me, and it was just standing up right when I got in the store, so it was one of the first books I seen. This book is about two newlyweds who are searching for a home, like most newlyweds do. And they come across this house that is formerly owned by a doctor that vanished out of nowhere years prior. So when they get in this house, they're loving it. But a snowstorm comes and it traps them in the house. So now they're not loving it as much. But as the storm goes on and they're trapped in this house, the wife starts to uncover these tapes that the doctor recorded before she disappeared. So as she's finding these tapes, she's starting to see something weird happening, and it's starting to show the events leading up to the disappearance of this doctor. So when she continues to watch the tapes, the last tape shows what happens to the doctor, but by this time, it's too late. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I'm interested as hell in this book. I don't know why I've kind of been on my little thriller thing, but I think thriller is starting to be one of my favorite genres too. because they just get to you. You know what I mean? Like, they just really draw you in. Like, just me reading the synopsis and explaining that to y'all made me want to read this book next. That is the last book of my used book haul, should I call it. And although I feel like I betrayed myself by not doing the proper research and thinking I was going to a super aesthetic bookstore, I still had a good time and I still enjoyed the books that they had to offer. You know, and again, I like a bargain, and that's what I got. 4 books for less than 20 bucks. You can't beat it. I hope y'all enjoyed this video because I definitely enjoyed my time. I'll be back with more videos, man. But in the meantime, comment, like, and subscribe because y'all know I'll be back with some more. Peace, family.